Hey guys, welcome to another fun and exciting Iron Mike GT7 stream. Today we're at Maggiore, in the radical sports cars, I guess. Been practicing for the whole week. We're on sports hard tyres, 1 times fuel, 1 times tyre wear, so there's no pitting, 10 laps from start to end. I don't really like that. I like a mix-up. But anyway, practiced really hard, putting in a lot of effort on gear changes, brake points, acceleration, trying to keep the momentum going. Did pretty good, starting second place. The person in first place, Irina Beefeater. Never heard of the person, and I was a bit suspicious when starting this race. You can see the internet connection isn't the best, and just hoping for a clean start. So I was only this Irina Beefeater was only 0.049 seconds faster than me, so it was pretty close. And the guy in third, I think, was maybe half a second slower than me. Obviously my qualifying time and my lap times were slower than my practice times during the week. I was hitting about 2 minutes 17, I think it was 2 minutes 17.3, I think, and yet here I'm hitting about 2 minutes 18, something like that. Anyway, so I get past Irina Beefeater, just a bit slow. It's interesting when you look at the replay, even some of the A or A plus drivers, the gear choices that they're using. I did notice you really wanted to get into high gears pretty early on some of the slow corners. Changing gears, I did notice, does slow the car down. There's this bit of a pregnant pause between gear changes, so changing gears too many times does slow the car down, so best to try and do it in one hit almost. So going around a corner in third, and then very quickly into fourth to get it through, so you're not changing it later. It's hard to explain. Anyway, so around here, and probably a little bit further on, I could just feel I'm not pulling away from this person. They're just hanging in there. I felt like they were toying with me a bit. I've had that before. Straight away I'm thinking they're fuel saving behind me, but there is no need for fuel saving at all. And you can see I'm just going off track a bit. It's because I'm quite focused on this person behind me. Wasn't too nervous, and it was a fun race. I did enjoy it. It's funny, during practice, just the slightest error or adjustment will make quite a difference in your lap times. So just trying to get every corner right was really important, and maybe that's something I'm learning, so not just for this race, but every race, trying to get every corner right. I guess at the moment my problem is quite early during the week I will pretty much get a really good time and nail it, and then as I'm continuing on trying to look for a faster time, I'm moving away from what I did that was really good. As much as I will save it, save the replay, and try and leave some notes for myself, but the more I continue on trying for a faster speed, I get away from what I was doing that made me fast in the first place. So coming up to the day before, half a day before this race, I wasn't hitting 2 minutes 17.3, I was hitting 2 minutes 18, only 0.7 off, but it's getting a little bit frustrated. So again, this Irina, she's right on my backside, and I may have missed it. There was a bit of a bump draft, and that was the first moment where I thought, I'm going to call her she, Irina, had a really good opportunity to get past me and yet chose not to. So I started to think maybe this is someone who I know and it's a second account and they're just trying to help me along. Because the person behind me, their pace is really good and they're able to catch up pretty quick, and yet there was as soon as there was an opportunity to get past me, they'd sort of just back off a bit. And somewhere through the race I was getting a little bit disappointed in that, because I'm about to show you a stream here where I do pretty good, and I feel like it's slightly false. But in the race I wasn't 100% sure. So here's a bump draft. There it is. And it was at that moment I thought, hang on. Okay, maybe they were trying to give me a bit of extra speed to get it wrong in the corner. But I still hold position here. I was going up in 5th all the way up this hill, and then down the hill I'd go to 6th, and then I was watching a stream of this Philippine guy called Chupageti, and he was getting in 6th gear early. It started to make me think, so I practiced it, and it was actually faster by tenths of a second, but everything helps. So you can see Irina Beefeater behind me, and I was just waiting for it. When are you going to pass? I was just trying to hold a steady line. And yet the overtake just seemed to never come. And my cornering, just really it's my cornering, my brake points, my cornering that was sometimes getting a little bit rough during the race, and I could feel it, that my tyres were sliding a bit more. I was exiting corners a little bit slower than what it should be. So when I first started practicing this race, I was actually going into lower gears, going down into 2nd gear into here, and then up to 3rd, and then just playing around with different gears. I actually found like the higher gears were better. And my setup as well, sorry, I forgot to mention that. So just 4th in here, and then 5th. And then once I'm stable, get a bit of speed into 6th. So a touch slower here at the moment, but it will actually pick up speed and then be faster than staying in 5th. Because had I stayed in 5th, I would be changing now, and that would end up being a bit slower. So my setup is traction control 2. Anything less than that, I found I could actually spin the car out. I'm not that gentle and sensitive as maybe an A+ or an A driver. You can actually be a bit more gentle and stop the car from spinning out. So as a guarantee, as insurance, traction control 2, and then the active stability management, ASM, is on. bit rough there. Just creating a bit of gap between me and Irina. I think I was, I'm within 1 second now, 0.9. Trying to get into that 1 second to break the slip. So ASM on and the counter steer on. So like I said, I had all week to practice, and I'd try with both of them off, one of them on, the other off, and then the other on, the first one off. Just mix it around and get a feel, and I found with everything on I felt very stable. I could throw a car into the corner, accelerate early, and it probably dumbed the car down a touch, but look at the gap now. So I'm not too sure what she did there, whether or not she's made a mistake. I think at this point I started thinking that she's trying to hold off other drivers for me. That was where I was thinking maybe this person knows me. So there's my setup: traction control to ASM on and counter steer on for this race. So I'm starting to learn now, each race, just go through all the settings and just try and work out what car likes and doesn't like whatever settings. Starting up the front, I was so tempted. I felt pretty confident with my qualifying time during the week. I was so tempted to start at the back. I even put on my livery on the base of the back wing, last two ? Because I was going to start at the back, and I just thought, take it off. If people see that during the grid lineup, they might try and knock me off the track for being too cocky. So I took that off, but I was so tempted to start at the back. I even was casually going around on my first lap just to have a look at the lap times, and I decided if I can do a 2 minute 17.3 in practice, in qualifying here it would probably be 2 minutes 18. And as I'm watching the cars go around, as they're crossing the line, the best time was 2 minutes 20, and my jaw dropped, and I just thought, my God, well, if they're that slow, I could start from the back. But there was another part of me that thought, A, it's going to be tricky, and B, try and start up the front and just get it over and done with. Don't fool around. Starting at the back, it could go horribly wrong. And every car, being a one make, every car's relatively going to be around the same speed, which makes it harder to get past people. And I'll tell you what, I just wanted this race to be over. It was still on just lap 6, and I'm looking at the split time. So we're at 2.5 at the moment, I think, 2.5, 2.6. Like I said, a part of me is thinking that this person is just holding everyone else back. But I was just going for it from here. This is one of my favourite tracks. I do love it. This whole track. The small ones I'm not a huge fan of, but this one large track I do love it. I think my favourite tracks are this one, Maggiore, Interlagos, Fuji, I do like. That's pretty much it. There's others that are pretty good, like Monza. They're good, but these three. Did I mention Red Bull? Red Bull I do like. I've said it before, said it plenty of times, I prefer a higher tyre wear with 2 or 3 tyres required and more fuel consumption. So people are pitting early, people are pitting later, it just mixes it up, and becomes a real race, because you could be near the back and then end up near the front and vice versa. Whereas this straight out racing is, for me, it's one dimensional, it's quite boring. So getting onto the tyres, if you don't mind. Sports Hard. We've done a few races lately with Sports Hard tyres. The Toyota Cup. Also Autopolis is another track that I do enjoy. So Toyota Cup at Autopolis was in Sports Hard, and I did really well in that as well. I just seem to, I don't know, I just seem to connect with the Sports Hard tyres. As much as they're a tricky tyre to deal with, I think people who find it hard to separate racing soft, for example, with Sports Hard, and they drive around like they're on racing soft, and they get on Sports Hard and they just struggle. So you need to sort of clear your mind of racing tyres and realise this car is going to slide a bit. Just turn into corners a touch early, brake a touch earlier, I guess. So I'm pretty sure in this stream you'll see I've still got those red markers, still yet to let them go. You know, the brake zones. As much as I know the tracks really well, it just helps me out. So still a healthy gap between me and Irina Beefeater, who I'll tell you now, like I said, I just had an odd feeling. I think in a lap or two you see she really catches up, and at the end I thanked her for the clean race, and she responded with good job. And on I just then went to her personal PlayStation page and actually said I felt like someone with a secret second account was assisting me. And this Irina Beefeater did say that they're an A driver from Europe and that they were just in the race to practice, and saying that I was a fast driver and clean. So I thanked them because they didn't ruin my race, but they have got in between me and other drivers. So in theory, Irina Beefeater shouldn't be in this race, but they are. It's something that we can't control. So I've learned to just deal with it. So you can see I was about 2.5 seconds ahead, and now it's 1.9, I think. It's funny, half the time I'm looking at that split time, so it can affect my driving. I keep telling myself just ignore it and focus on the driving, but it's feedback, that split time. So look at here, I got that purple split time saying that I could be getting fastest lap here, and yet I don't. So I think that was 0.4 of a second, which is quite a bit. So I must be going quite a bit slow in this final sector compared to other people. So 2 laps to go. Oh, I did get fast this time, but then Irina Beefeater just got it back. Okay. I think it was early on during the day, I just had to quickly do a custom race just to check fuel consumption. Been practicing all week to get the gears and the lines and speed right in and out of corners. I actually didn't know what the fuel consumption was going to be like, but I very quickly found out there's plenty of fuel. Looks like a 1.5 second split. Just catching up. I just couldn't believe it. I felt like I was giving quite a good pace. And yet Irene a Beefeater 1.1. And I'm just seeing that time coming down, and another part of me is thinking, right, here it comes. At the last minute they're just going to catch up and pass. I had quite a bit of confidence in the car and the tyres. There wasn't really any corner where I felt I was going to spin off. Yeah, this corner here I get a bit lost on. Do I go in second? Do I go in third? Second gives me better rotation cornering, but third gives me greater speed. So I was always unsure about that one. So back to 1.5. Just didn't add up. It's like this person's catching and then dropping off. And so final lap, of course, sorry. I felt like I was racing for the person behind me. It felt like they were saying to me, go, go, go. And I'm doing it for them, just pushing, doing what they're telling me to do. Go. Here, it's getting near the end. Just change it to stay in 5th and then 6th now. So at the time, like I said, although I felt unsure about this person behind me, I still felt happy with my effort here. Blew away most of the rest of the field. Keeping clean, open air. Here we go. First place. Well, there we go, guys. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Hit the like button and subscribe if you can. And see you in the next one.